Hi, my name is Nick. In the last 8 months, I've earned almost 30,000 YouTube subscribers, and the way that I did it was one, always being consistent, but more importantly, two, always having a super high quality bank of basically infinite content ideas that answer exactly what my customers and fans want to know. So in this video, I'm going to show you how you can build a system that enables you to do this, to generate a massive list of content ideas super quickly using low code and no code platforms like Appify and Make.com. We're going to do it live. I'm going to build it in front of you. And at the end of it, you're going to have a system like that too. Stay tuned and let's get into it. So here's how the system is going to work. We are going to start by scraping YouTube video comments. It is a super underutilized gold mine for content ideas because this is basically exactly what the market in a particular niche wants, right? A lot of the time, comments that I receive under my videos are stuff like, Nick, can you please do a video about X? Well, if the people are asking me to do a video about X, odds are X is pretty important, right? So we're going to start by scraping YouTube video comments. This can be your own video. This could be somebody else's video. This could be the top creator in the space, whatever. We're then going to pass it through an AI filter that will look for relevant questions or queries or suggestions. This is, people formatting things in the form of a question. Can you do a video like this? Or maybe as a throw off comment like, hey, I'd love it if we could see some videos like this. We're then going to grab all of those, concatenate them, and then format them as content titles, topics, or blog posts. This really depends on whatever type of content you want to produce. In my case, I'm doing YouTube videos. And then as we see here, there's sort of like a dash line in my Whimsical. This is just a flowchart tool if you're unfamiliar with it, by the way, where we could extend this to one more step and then actually generate the content automatically. Now, I'm not actually going to be generating the content automatically because I do find in practice it is hard to generate high quality talking head content. I know a lot of people here have left comments on my recent videos being like, I'm pretty sure you're a robot, sick AI tool, bro. But no, I am actually human, at least for now, until I continue the cybernetic augmentations and get mantis blades. But I will let you guys know when that happens. For now, I'm going to be looking to basically do the first the first three steps. I'm going to stop right at the end there because this is a system that I'm actually using for myself. And I'm going to show you guys how I'm going to use it for myself too. In terms of the platforms we're going to use for this, we're going to use Appify. Appify is sort of like a web scraping store that you can sign up to where tons of people around the world have spent all of the time, energy, and legwork actually building out systems to scrape YouTube comments, scrape Instagram, scrape Facebook, LinkedIn. Feel free to just head over to appify.com/store if you want to check out a few. I now have a referral link to Appify, but I was not always affiliated with them. I just really love these guys. That said, I'm not shilling. There are a variety of other, great scraping platforms, stuff like that you guys can use too. Feel free to use whatever you guys want as your trigger step, but this is what we're going to be working with. And then we're going to use a YouTube comment scraper basically from this. And we're going to get the output here in this no-code tool, Make.com. That's going to enable us to iterate through every single one of these comments. Then after we've iterated through, we can set up like a prompt pipeline with artificial intelligence to filter through and then decide whether or not these comments are worth keeping or worth feeding through the rest of our enrichment pipeline. And then at the very end, what we're going to do is we're going to set up like a couple of additional prompts, basically to just refine it, improve the quality. And then since I'm doing YouTube videos, maybe I'll even have it like try and help me come up with a hook or something. So that's the system in a nutshell. As you guys can tell, not super crazy complicated, but if it's your first time using scraping systems like this, I could definitely see how it might be intimidating. I'm going to walk you guys through it as if you have zero knowledge. Let me just take a drink of this very interesting purple liquid. Thank you, purple liquid. Okay, so we're going to jump right into Appify first. I'm going to show you guys how to do this. We're going to use this YouTube comment scraper. What we want is this one right over here. This alternative YouTube data API has no limits or quotas. I'll tell you why. It's because they are not abiding by the YouTube TOS. They're scraping the hell out of it. I'm going to cancel my changes here. And basically the way that this works is, you have to sign up to Appify, make an account. They give you $5 in free credits, I think. So I'm on a paid plan, obviously, with $200 a month of limit. But, the $5 should do more than 2,500 comments, which should be substantial for you to get up and running with some content ideas. I don't know how many content ideas you can generate for 2,500 comments, but probably a fair amount. And basically the way that this is going to work is we need to pump in our direct video URLs. So that's just YouTube links that are formatted like this, youtube.com/watch/v equals some custom UUID. And then we set the maximum number of comments we want to scrape. So actually, just for demonstrative purposes, we want to go to 100. And then what we want to do is we want to find just one of my videos here. Let's do one that has a fair number of comments. The future of automation one. That was pretty spicy. And we'll, I just got the shareable link, but if I paste this in, notice how that's not actually the link. I had to go one step further. And then voila, we have this. And then all we have to do is we just go down to save and start. And this will actually start the run. So as I mentioned, you're going to get $5 in free credits when you sign up to Appify. So the actual run is not going to cost anything until you hit 2,500. But there are also some other things to keep in mind if it's your first time using this platform. Basically what Appify is it spins up web servers elsewhere. And those web servers are responsible for actually going out and building that scraper. And then we have a little usage parameter, which is the number of dollars that it's basically costing you to run these things. So I believe I was scraping 100, right? Awesome. And we just pumped in the video. And as we see, now we have 100 comments. And some of them tell me that I'm authentic and other ones say that I'm a massive piece of shit. So what we're going to do is we're going to pump all of those comments into one tight little funnel. And that funnel is going to essentially tell us which one of these are recommending other content insights. So this one, for instance, will be fun to see what this video will look like in hindsight. Thanks for the precious info. I wonder what industry leaders should I follow to be ahead of the curve like you, from this lovely Giuseppe. That might actually be a pretty good video, right? Like the top AI content creators in the space, or the top industry leaders in AI to follow that don't actually give you bullshit. Maybe people that have actually made money. I don't know, maybe, it'll extract some data from this and tell you that like why SaaS and API-based businesses will no longer be needed in 2025, right? These are sorts of the things that we're going to automatically be generating titles for. And the value here is, if you just have like a great Google sheet full of high quality content ideas that people are actually struggling from, the quality of the things that you produce will be way higher than if you were just trying to fulfill some search need or some other bullshit like that. So great. Now that we've figured out how Appify works, what we need to do is we need to go into Make.com. We basically need to find a way to extract this run. So the way that I'm going to set the system up is I'm actually going to trigger it in Appify, and I'm not going to trigger it all the time. I'm just going to trigger it like whenever I need content ideas. So maybe once a week or something. And then whenever it finishes, I'm going to build the float in Make.com so it catches that completion, and then it grabs the data from it and then proceeds with the rest of our flow. Easiest way for us to do this is all we need to do is just type Appify here. And what we want is watch actor runs. From there, we'll need to create a hook. So I'm going to go in there and then create a hook. And let's just say finished YouTube comments scraper. Let's spell finish correctly. Then the actor that we're going to be choosing will be YouTube comments scraper. Just make sure you're using the right one. So in my case, it was streamer/YouTube-comments-scraper. I'm going to click save. And I'm going to click OK. And so now what we have is we have something that is capable of watching that specific actor. If you don't have Appify connected, you're obviously going to have to go through a connection step where you go maybe get an API key, or maybe it's through OAuth. But let me actually show you what this looks like in practice. So we just finished the run, right? Let me go back in time and just maybe set the maximum number of comments to 10 and then just run this one more time, just so we could actually see this work live. The reason why I do this is because, a lot of the time, if you're unfamiliar with these platforms, it kind of looks like magic, right? Why is it that you start something over here and then all of a sudden you get the results over there? Well, this is just a quick and easy way for me to validate and show you guys what's sort of going on under the hood. So we just fired up the scraper. It is now getting our data. It usually takes around 1 minute to start seeing results. It is now actually going and finding said data. And as you see, we now have an event, essentially, that's coming through a webhook that has hit our Make.com scenario, and it says that our status is succeeded. The question is, though, where do we get that data? I'm not seeing it in any of these variables, right? Meta, stats, what have you. Well, in Appify, it's buried underneath another step called get dataset items. So what you have to do in order to make this work, make sure you're on the right account, is you have to feed in a variable called default dataset ID, this one right over here. And so this is now going to pull the actual items from the dataset that correspond to the specific one that was run in Appify. The reason why is because you can actually add to different datasets. You have sort of the ability or choice to do so. So this is just a quick and easy way for us to, for Appify to kind of give you a lot more flexibility. What we want to, because I just ran this and I don't basically want to have to run this every freaking time. What I'm going to do is I'm just going to go and paste in the actual dataset ID, which I just got here. I went to storage and then I went dataset ID. I copied that over. And I'm actually just going to run this one module on its own, just because I want to show you guys what that looks like. So I'm going to right click, press run this module only. And now we're actually going to get all of that data, the same data that we had earlier when we ran it in Appify. The thing is now, though, it's just accessible to us in Make.com. We can now obviously glue it together with a bunch of other shit. So that looks pretty good. Looks like we got 10 results. Yes, we got a whole 10 results. For the purposes of this video, why don't I go back to the first run, because I think I got 100 responses back here, right? Okay, great. And then I'm going to go to storage, and then I'm actually going to copy this one just because I want to get the one with 100, because that'll just enable us to do more with it. Now we're going to run it again. And voila, we have all 100 responses. Beautiful. Okay. So because I don't actually want to waste 100 operations in Make every time I do this, I'm just going to set the limit to 10. I'm going to delete this. Actually, no, I'm going to keep it. Let's just put it on top here so it doesn't keep on shunting me over to the right. And now we're actually going to build out the rest of our flow. So the very first thing I want to do really quickly, just scanning through the data, is I want to make sure that when I do this, all of the data is correct. Like I'm not wasting tokens or operations on stuff that is not necessarily valuable. Again, I'm doing this on my own videos, but you guys can do this on other people's videos too. There's no reason why not. Okay, comments that have, let's say, under a certain number of characters, I probably don't need to feed in. So people that are just like no or BS or whatever, I'll probably be able to filter a few of those out just in that way. The reason why is because I kind of already know that AI is going to say, hey man, this is not a comment that includes any sort of content idea. And my idea is I want to build the system out to be as efficient as possible. I don't want to feed things into AI if the comments are not of sufficient length or sufficient value or whatnot. So yeah, I think that's a pretty simple rule we can implement. What else am I seeing just off the top of my head? We got to make sure that the length isn't too short, obviously, but yeah. Cool. Okay, so stuff like this would be great. Can you make a video about the basic business skills that everyone should know and resources to it? Yeah, that's pretty good. I wonder what else we could feed into the AI. Let's see here. The future of automation after 2024. So what I'm thinking we're going to do is we're going to feed in the title of the video, and then we're also going to feed in the comment that we've received. And that is going to help us, that's going to help give the AI a little bit of context when we set up our filter. All right, so that's what we're going to do. Let's go to OpenAI now. Let's do create a completion. And if you guys are unfamiliar, we're going to be using a very specific type of structured data in this video called JSON, JSON, JavaScript Object Notation. I'm going to use the GPT-4o series of models for this, set max tokens to 4096, and then I'm just going to scroll down here and then go response format text. I'm going to go JSON object, parse JSON response as well. If you don't know how JSON works or JavaScript Object Notation works, it's just a form of structured data that will essentially enable us to prompt this and then receive the outputs as like formatted data that we can use in the rest of our flow without having to take additional steps. So I'm going to go to message content here. I'm going to set a system prompt. I'll just say, you are a helpful, intelligent content writing assistant. And then underneath, I'm going to add a message as a user. And I just need to test this out first. Like, I don't actually know if this use case is going to work, right? Well, obviously I did before I made the video because I did some tests, but I'm just trying to be as accurate to what your guys' actual building experience would be if you guys were trying to build a flow like this, right? So you always want to make sure to test the flow before you spend the time and energy building it out. And you just need to make sure that it works at least some proportion of time. Make sure it works at least half of the time with your shitty prompt, and then you can spend the time and energy necessary to refine that and make it better. But, a big issue I see is people will typically invest a lot of time and effort into something that is half-baked. They don't even know if it's going to work. So iteratively testing as you approach a completed system is very important. And, in Make.com, Appify, whatever, a big theme that you'll see me do is I'll run something, I'll look at the outputs, and only if I'm satisfied with the outputs will I build the next thing. So that's what we're going to be doing here. Off the top of my head, I'm going to say something along the lines of, below is a YouTube comment on a video. Your task is to determine if the comment is relevant. Hold on a second. We are looking for content ideas. Below is a YouTube comment on one of our videos. Your task is to determine if the comment is relevant and if it includes any suggestions. Let's do questions, inquiries, or suggestions that we can use as an idea for a future video. Let's do that. Return the result in JSON using the following format. JSON is all curly bracket based, so I'm going to write this out in JSON. Again, we are just inventing our own format here. There's no I'm not picking this. I'm not choosing from a set number of formats. I'm just pulling the shit out of my ass, for lack of a better word. So the term that we're going to be looking for here is okay, return the result in JSON using the following format. Let's do status succeeded or false, or maybe success or failure. What else do we need? Content idea. Let's do content title. Actually, let's do content idea. We'll do true, false. Content, let's actually do, Boolean. Content idea, string, and then what else do we need here? I mean, we could like get a bunch of metadata. We could say like outline. I'm saying Boolean, string, and string just because I want to inform it as to what sort of stuff to generate. Boolean just refers to true or false, although I am technically wrapping this in string characters. But that's okay. I'm going to be training it after. Then what I'm going to do is I'm going to provide an actual example of the input, which is going to be like video title. And why don't we actually just take stuff directly from this data set? Let's just zoom out, go back here. Let's see here. That is definitely cool. Ooh, now this is a really interesting comment. Let's do this one from Deft Uncut. Thank you, Deft Uncut. Oh, man. Okay, so the comment is going to be here, and it's going to be this. Then the video title, what was it, like the future of automation or something? Of automation after 2024. Awesome. And then we want the AI assistant now to generate us an output. So I'm just going to use AI to build out my own pattern, or my own response pattern. Let's see the result. Status true, content exploring the role of humans in the age of automation. That's actually pretty good. I like it. Then we have an outline, brief overview of automation advancements post-2024, how automation is shifting employment paradigms, what it means and why it's significant. Obviously, other cool shit. I mean, the outline's fine. I'm not really going to worry too much about the outline. I just wanted to show you guys that you could generate multiple different types of data as an output. Still, we can totally use this as our training data now. So now that I'm going to, now that we just outputted something, I'm going to actually add it back in. I'm going to do it as training data. Although it does have a bunch of these like backticks and shit. I don't really want to deal with them. So why don't I just go content idea, exploring the role of humans in the age of automation. We'll go content idea. Okay, let's actually just leave the outline. We're not going to have one. We'll go status, and then we'll go true. Content idea, exploring the role of humans in the age of automation. Maybe content ideas, actually. That would be really interesting. Maybe we have 3 content ideas generated for every comment that's positive. I really like that. Yeah, let's do that. Exploring the role of humans in the age of automation. Will humans be relegated to curator roles? And then let's do living in a post-scarcity economy, something like that. I don't know. I'm just trying to have it come up with interesting shit. Okay, great. Now that we are going to generate an output containing, let's do content ideas. We'll call this an array. Now that we've sort of given this AI an example of what we want from it, we've actually given it a video title, and then we have the output for a positive response. I kind of want to get one for a negative response too. So that's what I'm going to look for next. I'll go user, and then I'm actually going to go back into our output here, and I'm going to see if there's anything at all that we can do with authentic guy. So first, we're just going to see if this instinctively understands what I'm asking for. The video title is, again, the future of automation after 2024. And then the comment is going to be authentic guy. Then up here, I'm going to provide it some additional context. I'll say if the comment contains a content idea, return status true, and add content ideas to the content ideas array. If the comment does not contain a content idea, return status false and leave content ideas empty. This should be not overwhelmingly complicated for the model. Let's see how this runs now. We should get a false. We should get nothing inside of content ideas. Beautiful. Awesome. So I'm just going to now, I mean, my model already kind of understands this, but that's all right. We'll go assistant, we'll go false, and then we'll just leave this as an empty array. And now that I've done this, let me just see if my formatting's all right. Okay, great. Now we can actually add our own real data. And I just have to plug in my laptop before it, completely shuts down on us. One sec. Where the hell is that cable? Okay, great. Beautiful. Yeah, and now we're actually going to put in our data. So what we want is we want video title, and the value that we want for video title is title. I'm going to wrap that in quotes. And then we want the actual comment. We want comment. And then if you guys remember back to what I was saying, that we wanted to set up a rule. Let's just say real comment. And we'll define a real comment as something that has a length of over, oh geez, I don't know. Let's do like 5 or so. Maybe greater than 5. I mean, I do want to filter out just like the few letter comments. 5 sounds sufficient. Okay, great. Now what we can do here, we'll just say filter and create content idea. What we can do here is now that we've created content ideas, we can actually use an iterator, iterate through them, and then generate the outlines that way instead. So this is going to be a lot better than what we were doing before. But what I have to do is I just have to check that length of content ideas is greater than 0. Because I don't want to be iterating over something empty. Odds are, and actually we should do status is equal to true. We don't want to be iterating over something empty, obviously. And then what I'm going to do next is, just off the top of my head, it'd be cool if we added this to a Google Sheet, right? We'd want the outline to contain all of the information, including like the comment on that parent that contained the comment. Sorry, the parent comment as well, so we could look back at the comment itself. So I'm going to go to sheets.new, and then I'm going to create my own little spreadsheet here. And what are we going to need? We're going to need, if you think about this, we're not going to need status because odds are anything in that sheet will already have a status true, right? We're not going to make it past that until the status is there. But why don't we have like a date added? That'll help. Why don't we have a content idea? We'll go, actually no, we'll go parent comment, and we'll go content idea, then we'll go outline. Now what I'll do as well is I'll have like a feasible, maybe I'll have like my own column that I can score content ideas with. So I'll say like content, or maybe I'll do like score, and then it'll be like out of 5. This is just going to be a quick and easy way for me to like set up my own content calendar for YouTube. Let me think about this. I've set up a much more primitive system than this, but I just want to make sure that, the stuff that I build and actually show you guys is something that I actually end up using, because I think that's just way more interesting. Like if you guys see me build the actual infrastructure that I use in order to create more YouTube videos, I mean, how valuable is that, right? This is everything that I would be thinking of while I design this in actuality. And I really like my Google Sheets to be inter with this nice blue theme. So chalk that up to my OCD. Let me think about some, oh, you know what? We could even generate a hook. Why don't we generate a hook and an outline? Okay, I'm going to paste the outline here. We'll do hook here. Then we'll do outline. Then we'll do rating. And the rating will be out of 10. Maybe 10-point rating. I'm going to go through and then rate my content ideas after this runs. And then that way I'm just going to like have a sorted list of content ideas that I think will have high impact and be high quality. Okay, great. Now that we've done this, why don't we do this as well? We're going to iterate through. All these comments are going to be real. So I can remove that filter that came along. I'll be say create hook and outline. And now what we can do is we can actually feed in some hooks. Now I just had a great call with really bright guy that taught me how to write some pretty high quality hooks. So I'm going to say, you are a helpful, intelligent content writing assistant. And now I'm going to like have it generate me hooks and outlines. Your task is to generate high quality, engaging hooks and outlines for content ideas. You'll receive a content idea in JSON in your task, and you'll return it in the following format. We're going to say hook. And then we're also going to say outline. Nice. That looks great to me. Okay, sweet. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to build out our next prompt. And the way that I'm going to do it is I'm going to use the training examples that I had in the previous one. There's no use rebuilding the wheel from scratch, right? I really like these ideas. So what I'll do is I'll feed in this object. We'll go content idea, and we're just going to do one at a time. What we need to do here, if you think about it, is we need to make sure that these content outlines are engaging. We also need to make sure that the hooks are high quality. The issue that a lot of people have with these are they don't follow Alex Hormozi. What I just talked about with this YouTube consultant was maximizing the perceived value of the first 30 seconds. And Alex Hormozi has this strategy that he uses where he says proof process or something. Proof. Let me just Google this really quickly. Proof, promise, and plan. Okay, so yeah, we need to use Alex Hormozi's proof, promise, and plan. However, if you think about it, if I were just to tell the AI, hey, use the proof, promise, plan idea, it's not really going to get this because odds are it's not trained on a data set that includes Alex Hormozi talking a lot about this. So instead, what I'm going to do is I'm going to try and show it what the proof, promise, and plan is. So maybe what we'll do, actually, the very first thing we'll do is we just need to run this and see what it generates us, right? So user, content idea, living in a post-scarcity economy. Oh, last thing. You're creating content for Nick Sarayev, who runs several successful automation and content businesses, some key case studies, and social proof. Let's do Nick made over 100,000 USD in August 2024. Nick runs a content writing agency that scaled to $92,000 per month. Nick runs an automation agency that scaled to 72. Oh, I do not know the specific figures, so we're just going to leave it at that. Nick has been featured in Popular Mechanics, Apple News. Let's do this. And let's go fifth. Nick, what was that other cool thing that I was talking about at the beginning of this video? Nick has almost 30,000 subscribers on YouTube. Okay, great. So let's just let this run now, and let's see what it comes up with. I don't like this hook at all. So we need to use proof, principle, and promise. We need to teach it how to use this hook properly. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go assistant, and we're going to output. And then I had some hook that I just copied for this video that I just put together a second ago. Let me see here. No, maybe it was over here. Yeah, it was totally over here. Okay, great. So this is a hook that I just put together. Beautiful. And then why don't we just make this really easy? We'll say content idea, how to generate infinite content ideas for YouTube. I don't actually know the title of this video yet, but I'm just going to paste this in. Make.com and Appify. Awesome. Now we need an outline as well. So I need to come up with some sort of outline for this. Why don't I start with hook? Then I do some sort of introduction to the software platforms. I love how meta this is. Then I do testing the comment scraper. Then I'm using new lines here because I want to space it out. \n is just a new line character that Make understands and that AI understands. And it just enables me to stick all this stuff into JSON without necessarily compromising the formatting. If you had a bunch of like actual new lines, like if I put a bunch of enter keys in JSON, it won't work. And then the fourth is, let's say, building out flow. Then the fifth is, let's just do like wrap up. Cool. That looks pretty good to me. Should be fine. Now we're going to add another one. And what we want is, we want another content idea, which I'm going to get from here. And then we're going to do this. Top 7 basic business skills you need to know in 2025. Let's do that. Just gonna go back over here, and then I'll go content idea, just paste that puppy. And now we're gonna see how it does on our new set. I don't like the ready to future-proof your business strategy. I really don't like when it comes out with stuff like that. So what I'm gonna do is I'm going to have it say, use a Spartan, no frills tone of voice, minimize flamboyancy, weird, or uncommon verbiage, etc. I'm going to run this one more time now. Make sure that prompt looks nice and sexy for us. I don't like this. One more. Make sure you use Nick's social proof in the hook. This is essential. We'll say something like that. One final test here. Cool. That actually looks pretty reasonable. Oh, it even comes up with like the skills themselves. Yeah, pretty nice. All right, now what I'm going to do is I'm going to put together a Google Sheet, which we have here. Just going to copy the ID of this Google Sheet by taking the top of it. I'm going to go to Sheets. We'll go add a row. I just need to make sure I'm in the right account, and then I'm just going to enter this manually. But if you were to do this, you could also just look through Google Sheets. The sheet name is going to be Sheet 1. It's going to go A to Z. And then what I'm doing is the date added has to be now, right? The parent comment, if you think about it, is going to be, let's see here. What would the parent comment be? This one. Content idea, I guess there'd be 3. No, the content idea would be added on every individual row. It would be this one here. I think it'd be for.value, I believe it's called. I don't know though, because I haven't actually run the iterator yet. Hook would be easy enough. It'd be hook, and then outline be this, and then rating I would leave blank. Awesome. This actually now looks pretty sufficient. Why don't we run this on a tiny test set of 20 comments? No, let's do 10 comments. Well, if you think about it, it's gonna be 30 rows. Yeah, let's do 10 comments. Let's run this puppy. Let's see if there's anything broken here. I don't like the formatting issues, so let me just fix these. Nice. Then I also don't like how big this is, so I'm just going to minimize this. Going to make the content idea much longer so that I could see it. And then what we should probably do, if I don't want it to keep on like screwing up the formatting, I should probably do this. There we go. Cool. And now I have a big, wonderful, beautiful list of content ideas and outlines and ratings. So I'm just going to let this keep on running until it stops. So you can see we're through 8 comments right now. We filtered out 2 of them that were irrelevant. And, these content ideas aren't all perfect. I see why tech companies need leaders with both business and technical expertise. This is obviously not the right tone of voice for my channel. I don't really write like this. But as I'm sure you guys can imagine, I'm going to touch up the title generation so that the titles are much more similar to the titles that I come up with. And in this way, you can very easily come up with like a scalable flow that enables you to just pump in any channel you want, add in your own case studies and your own value, and then come up with basically an infinite amount of content for whatever specific platform you want to do. So in my case, I'm doing YouTube, right? Which is why I'm structuring it in this way. But maybe what you do is you actually first generate the outline, and then maybe you want a blog post. Now what you're going to do is you're going to take this and then get another column called blog post, and then it's just going to go through every heading and actually write the whole thing for you. Anywho, what I'm going to do is let's just minimize the parent comment, because in hindsight, that column isn't super important to me. Let's minimize the hook. Well, actually, let's make it a little bit longer. We'll minimize the outline. That's what I really need. And then I'm just going to rate this now out of 10. So, review of AI voiceover tools for video creators. In August 2024, I surpassed the $100,000 mark in a single month by mastering essential business skills. So, look ahead to 2025. These skills are becoming even more critical. Let's dive into these top 7 basic business skills you need to stay competitive. I think that's a 7. Oh, look, it even did some math on me. That's really nice. I haven't ever framed my experience as 160K a month combined. Thank you, GPT-4. Maybe this one's a 6. Maybe this one's a 5. Oh, I like this one. Yeah, I could see that one being a really good video, honestly. I don't really like this one. Seems all right. Maybe this one's here. Maybe this is that, whatever. And then what you do is you set a filter. So you say, I don't want anything that's less than a 5. And then, oops, I think I said I want everything that's less than a 5. I don't want anything that is less than a 5. And then voila, all of the videos I have are now things that I've personally rated at over 5. I can actually go through and then add them to, this might as well just be my content calendar, but I can add this to my content calendar and actually start the practical production process of it. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to save this blueprint. The one thing that I'm going to do that's different is I'm actually going to add one additional step. I'm going to add a set variables module here for you guys. The idea being that you will put your social proof. And one more thing here. We'll do social proof here. We'll say social proof direction. Then down here, we'll say tone of voice direction. And what you're going to do as well is you're just going to put in whatever the tone of voice that you want is. So I'm going to go down here. And then I'm actually just going to replace this with tone of voice direction and social proof direction. So social proof direction will go over here, and then tone of voice direction will go down over here. And then you're free to come up with more training examples if you want in this blueprint. No problem at all. But now, if you think about it, all I have to do is I have to go to this spreadsheet, which contains a giant list of all of my YouTube videos. So every link that I've ever come up with, basically. Then I just go back over here to YouTube comment scraper, go to bulk edit, I paste all these puppies in. I set the total number of scraped comments that I want at 100,000. I think that's 100,000. And then I click save and start. And then if I do this, which I'm not going to do right now, but if I do this, this is going to go through every single comment that's ever been left in any one of my YouTube videos. It's going to pass this through that filter, then it's going to use it to come up with ideas. You can imagine how there are other things that you could do with this as well. You could batch, 5 rows at a time. And feed this into another AI flow that automatically picks the best piece of content or the best title that was generated based off of a bunch of other examples that you give it. And then this way, maybe you just automate all of the parts of the content except the highest ROI parts for you, which is where you actually sit down and, touch up the hook or touch up the outline or touch up the script. Or in my case, maybe just sit down and actually record a video on it. All right. I hope you guys appreciated that video. I had a lot of fun putting it together. As you guys can see, it's actually pretty simple to put together systems like this, as long as you know a little bit of prompt engineering, a little bit of Make.com, a little bit of no-code tools. If you guys want to learn more about that sort of thing, and if you want to learn how to actually package all that together in a business and sell it to people, check out my no-code, low-code, how to start your automation business community called Maker School, where I guide you through basically a day-by-day 30-step plan that turns you from zero to hero and allows you to bootstrap an automation company from scratch. Otherwise, if you guys could do me a big solid, leave a comment down below with a future video idea that you want. So I'll have something to feed into this system for tomorrow. Like, subscribe, do all that fun stuff, and I'll catch you on the next video. Thanks.